Good day, viewers. You are again welcome to another interesting package of News Panorama from the stable of ABN Television 15.9, Houston, Texas. I'm Kehinde Oyedeji. First, the headlines. Nigerians will have the last laugh. Buhari. Federal government begins online registration of unemployed Nigerians. NNPC says federal government has no plan to increase price of petrol. ASU, University of Ibadan chapter, begins warning strike to protest financial issues. And news around the world. World Bank pledges $775 million support to address Northeast insurgency needs in Nigeria. Trade union calls on Zuma to step down. And in the world of sport, Governor Ambode receives Queen's baiting, tasks sports administrators. Ghana reappoints Afia as coach. Now the news in full. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that the country will overcome its numerous problems and Nigerians will eventually laugh and celebrate at last. He said this in his message at the Southwest Zonal meeting of the National Committee of Buhari Support Group, NCBSG, held in Lagos. Buhari, represented by Senator Borofis Ajayi, however, charged Nigerians to embrace the change mantra of his government, admonishing that the positive message must be taken to all nooks and crannies of the country. Passing a vote of confidence in the federal government, the national leader of the APC, Senator Bola Tinubu, assured the support of the people of Southwest for President Buhari. Tinubu, who was represented by the APC National Vice Chairman Southwest, Chief Pius Akinyelure, expressed concern over what he said was the level of decay in the national economy before the APC came on board. He therefore called on Nigerians to stay focused and support the president as he continued with the process of rebuilding the country. At the meeting where the zonal and state coordinators of the National Committee of Buhari Support Group were presented with appointment letters, its National Secretary, Chief Abiodun Ajiboye, said the mission of the group is to galvanize the public towards identifying with the current administration. The Deputy Director, Information and Public Relations of the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, Edmond Onwuliri, said the federal government of Nigeria has commenced the online registration of unemployed persons in the country. This, he said, is a part of the government quest to keep a robust database for unemployed persons and provide jobs. The registration, according to him, is in compliance with the third mandate of the NDE, which requires it to obtain and maintain a data bank of employment and vacancies in the country, with a view to acting as a clearinghouse to link job seekers with vacancies in collaboration with other government agencies. Onwuliri said the online portal, which goes live on Wednesday, April 5, 2017, is designed to capture the relevant details of any unemployed persons. However, the portal can be accessed by logging on to www.jobsforall.ng. The Directorate sees the initiative as a bold step towards deepening the effectiveness of its employment creation strategies and a critical input into the process of designing, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of programs and schemes. The portal will also serve as a meeting point for job seekers and employers, thereby reducing the cumbersome process of recruitment among employers of skilled laborers in the private and public sectors. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has debunked the insinuation that the recent increase in the bridging allowance to transporters from 6 naira 20 kobo to 7 naira 20 kobo was made preparatory to jacking up the pump price of petrol. The Group General Manager, Public Affairs, Mr. Ndu Gbamadu, said rather than increase the pump price, the 1 naira increase in transporters' allowance would be absorbed in the existing pricing template to maintain existing pump price ceiling. Gbamadu noted that the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has suspended its nationwide strike April 3, 2017, following the timely intervention of the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Makanti Baru. Baru, who lauded the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, for giving his approval to increase the bridging allowance, said the review should give the National Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, the breathing space to engage with petroleum tanker drivers, PTD, and resolve as many issues as possible, also expected to normalize relations between the unions. A month after 100 Lagos residents reportedly took possession of their accommodation under the state government's rent-to-own housing scheme, another batch of 200 successful allottees became landlords at an event which took place at the T-Complex Lagos State Secretariat, Alausa, Ikeja. Under the scheme floated by Governor Akiwumi Ambode, Lagos residents are required to pay 5% of the value of the housing units as commitment fee, while the balance is spread over 10 years. The tenants continue to live on the property while paying towards ownership at a fixed rate within the period of 10 years. Governor Ambode urged the federal government to assist the masses by rolling out housing-friendly policies, which will be made easy to obtain loans to build houses. He said this is why mortgage banks should be fully equipped to function very well and contribute their quota to national development. He added that masses are bound to appreciate any program that puts a smile on their faces. He urged other state governors to take a cue and float similar housing schemes. According to reports, estates where the allocations were made include the Sir Michael Otedola Estate, Odo Ragusen, Ekpe, Odo Onosa, Agboa, Igbobo Housing Estate Ikorodu, Alimosho, and Honorable Olaitan Mustapha Housing Estate Ojokoro. The Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria, ASU, University of Ibadan chapter, has declared a one-week warning strike over illegal pension deduction, fractional salary payment, and non-payment of supervision allowance. The decision was taken on Tuesday, April 4th at a congress convened by the union and presided over by its chairman, Dr. Deji Omoli. According to Dr. Omoli, the union received permission from the national body to proceed on the warning strike, therefore compelled the university administration to address the issue, which ASU said bordered on welfare of its members. The warning strike commenced from 12:01 midnight on Tuesday, April 1st to 12 midnight of Tuesday, April 11th, 2017. The Congress of the Union maintains that failure of the administration of the university to resolve all the issues will force the union to proceed on a comprehensive and total strike. The Congress was well attended and was also addressed by the national delegates of ASUS, which included Professors Tony Moye Emina from Benin, Mahmoud Lawan from Kano, and Bibi Sise from Port Harcourt, among others. Join us again after this timeout.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Eastern Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich cultural heritage.
Yeah, you're welcome back. And the news around the world. The World Bank Director in Nigeria, Mr. Rashid Bemasol, has said that the bank will support Nigeria with $775 million to address the critical needs of the victims of insurgency and in rebuilding the Northeast. He said this during the Northeast Coordination Forum and Dashboard launch by the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, PCNI, in Abuja. The Coordination Forum with the team driving multi-sector programmatic recovery was organized by the PCNI with support from the World Bank and the UK Department for International Development, DFID. Bemasol said the intervention fund will focus on addressing service delivery gaps in health, education, social protection, livelihood deficit, youth unemployment, and social cohesion issues created by the protracted crisis. Also speaking, Mr. Tijani Tumsa, the vice chairman of the PCNI, said that the launch of the dashboard was a significant milestone in the rebuilding of the Northeast. In their separate remarks, Mr. Edward Callon, the United Nations Humanitarian Coordinators to Nigeria, and Mr. Robert Watt, Head Region Office of DFID, said the UK will continue to support the federal government and scale up its intervention for the reconstruction of the Northeast. British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson on Tuesday said Syria's President Bashar al-Assad will be guilty of a war crime if it were proved this regime was responsible for a suspected chemical weapon attack on the Syrian rebel-held province of Idlib. The chemical attack killed no fewer than 58 people, including children. Meanwhile, the United Nations Commission of Inquiry on Syria said that the use of chemical weapons, as well as any deliberate targeting of medical facilities, would amount to war crimes and serious violations of human rights laws. Johannesburg, South Africa's largest trade union confederation, on Tuesday joined the ranks of President Jacob Zuma's critics and called on him to step down. An ally to Zuma's African National Congress Party, the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, said it no longer trusted Zuma's leadership after his decision to sack Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan, which prompted the rating agency Standard & Poor's to downgrade the country's sovereign crediting rating to junk status. Join us again after this timeout. Welcome back. And the world of sports. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has made a clearing call on sports administrators to use the opportunity of the Queen's Betting Relay in Nigeria to make adequate preparation for the Commonwealth Games, which holds on the Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, between April 4 and April 15, 2018. Governor Ambode, who received the Queen's Betting at Alausa, Ikeja, said that it has become necessary for Nigeria to put its facilities in good order to encourage the youth of Nigeria to excel in sports, adding that Lagos was in the vanguard of revamping all their sports facilities to give the athletes conducive atmosphere to prepare and win medals for Nigeria. The 2017 edition of the Wari Eforum Peace Marathon has been thrown open to national athletes who wish to participate in the race built for April 29, 2017 in Wari, Delta State. According to the race coordinator, Joyce Bozimo, athletes from outside Delta will be welcomed. She disclosed that the state governor, Fiayi Okowa, has given approval and support for the 10-kilometer race, meant to promote peaceful coexistence among the different ethnic groups in the restive Niger Delta region. Kwesi Appiah has been appointed as Ghana head coach for a second time for the senior national team, the Black Stars. The decision was taken by the Executive Committee of the Ghana Football Association, GFA, on Tuesday after approving the report of the 6-man coaching search committee. Appiah will be handed a 2-year contract and will start his duties on 1st May 2017. He first took charge of the Black Stars between April 2012 and September 2013, finishing 4th at the 2013 African Cup of Nations and qualifying for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil before crashing out in the group stage. Appiah will also take charge of the Ghanaian national team for locally based players called the Black Stars. At this point, we shall be drawing curtains on today's edition of News Panorama from the stable of ABN Television, 15.9, Austin, Texas. I am Kendi Oyedeji. Until we see you again, bye for now.